President Trump and Republicans declaring victory after the long-awaited Robert Mueller report finds that there was no collusion with the Russians.
And our next guest praising President Trump's DOJ, saying that after years of biased Hillary Clinton investigations, they put politics aside.
Here to explain, former Department of Justice Deputy Director of Public Affairs, Ian Pryor. Ian, good morning to you.
Good morning.
So really, this is a tale of two investigations. You look at the FBI, they looked into Hillary Clinton, and that was started with the Obama administration, and then it morphed into eventually, in a lot of people's minds, the investigation of Donald Trump based on we don't know what exactly from the FBI.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at how things went in the Clinton investigation, it's clear that the Obama Justice Department really became a tool of the Democrats and the Clinton campaign. The way that they conducted the Clinton investigation, the way they did interviews not by the book, as we saw from Lisa Page's testimony, and then the way that the Trump investigation was opened up, it was clear that politics infected everything that the Obama Justice Department did. Now move over to the Trump Justice Department. You just had one of the most thorough investigations ever into its own president. 1,200 subpoenas, 500 witness interviews, 500 warrants executed, right? And they came to a result where they were looking for the truth. They weren't looking for a specific outcome that was predetermined. And I think more importantly, you have a president that's committed to the rule of law. Despite the tweets, despite what he said, he didn't fire Rod Rosenstein. He didn't order that Mueller be fired. Right. He let the investigation run its course. And now it's going to be very hard for Democrats and sort of the anti-Trump cartel to say that this investigation, the fix was in from the beginning, and it was a sham done by Trump appointees.
Yeah, you make a good point. If you read this 4-page letter to Congress, William Barr makes it clear that he did work with Rod Rosenstein. What's your reaction to how he handled the investigation and the fact that the president kept him on?
Well, I think you got to go back to Rod's initial decision to appoint special counsel, and you can agree with it or disagree with it. But looking back on it, I go back to what I just said. At the time, Andy McCabe was running this investigation. Rod had only been in office for roughly 3 weeks at the time. He didn't know the full details of the investigation, but what he clearly did know was that Andy McCabe was biased and should not be running this investigation. So he hands it over to a special counsel, Bob Mueller, unquestionable integrity, unquestionable professionalism. So now you have an investigation that's being done without bias to the president, and if it finds something, well, then that's important and we need to do something about it. And if it doesn't find something, as it didn't, then it's untainted, and it's going to be very difficult for people to say that that investigation was a sham investigation and that the fix was in. And the average American is probably sitting there thinking to themselves, well, look, this was a thorough investigation. Right. It's over. Let's finish this.
You know, when you think about it, though, Ian, the FBI unleashed its powers on a candidate who is running for president of the United States. That is an amazing first that we know of.
Yeah, and a lot of those actors, a lot of those bad actors are gone, but I think the next shoe to drop is going to be the Inspector General report on what happened with the FISA applications, what happened with the initiation of this investigation. Now, remember, by the time the Trump Justice Department gets it, this investigation had been going on for a while. If they had just shut that down, if you think Democrats are going after impeachment now, just imagine what it would have been like if there was an investigation that was shut down. But I'm really interested to see how this all came about, and I think that's really going to be the next chapter in this story.
Well, you worked at the DOJ, and in this letter, Mr. Barr says that his goal is to release the full report, at least as much as he can, as long as it's allowed by law and department policies. Do you think that will happen? Will we be able to read the entire thing?
Well, I think we'll be able to read a lot of it. I mean, obviously, there's going to be redaction for grand jury material, national security information, potentially confidential sources. But I take Barr at his word, and I think Democrats are overreaching. I mean, the first thing, we need to see the report. That's the first thing that they said. Well, what happens if Barr gives them 95% of the report? What are they going to complain about then? I think Barr's a man of his word, and I think we are going to see most of the report.
But, if they give him 95%, they're going to complain that 5% is missing, and that could be the smoking gun.
Sure. I mean, I think they're always going to complain about everything over there. But at that point, people realize that it's just politics. They realize that the law has come out on the president's side.
No matter how you feel about it, it was definitely a thorough investigation. If you look at this, 19 lawyers, 2,800 subpoenas, 500 search warrants, interviewed 500 witnesses. So you got to take it at its word, and you have to believe that there is no collusion and no obstruction based on this finding.
Yeah, clearly not. I think this is a huge win for the president. I saw somebody tweet, I think it was Brian tweeted yesterday that officially the president won the 2016 election. Well, I go so far to say officially the president just won the 2020 election.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Boom. All right, Ian Pryor used to be with the Department of Justice. Sir, thank you very much.
Thanks, Ian.
Thanks for having me.